Hello there, my name is Andy Clark and this is a short video to accompany the blog article on exploring the basics of writing. What I thought we could do today is just spend a couple of minutes looking at the concepts of ideas generation and structure mapping using inspiration as a visual structure tool to help inform our writing. What I'm going to start with is I thought we could have a look at something that's in the news at the moment, the Woolwich attack down in London. Basically, what we're going to do is just ask a few questions and see if we can start generating some ideas that we can then take forward to build into some structure for our writing. Quite often what we're doing is we're trying to inform research, which will help us to pull together more information and ensure that our writing has good depth and structure to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just simply rapid fire from here. And I'm going to ask this first question, okay, who? So who is involved? So we have the victim, and we have the perpetrators, and we also have local onlookers, and we also have the security forces. Okay. So once we've got a few who's together, we can start thinking about, well, what? So what is this about? Well, it was an attack and it was also a murder. And then we can think a little bit about when. So when did this occur? Well, it was in the middle of the day. Notice I'm not going too deep into any of these. I'm just pulling out the first few thoughts that I have about each of these questions, and you'll see why in a few seconds. And then we start thinking about questions like where? Well, we know that there was a barracks and it was in London and it was just a normal street. It's one thing that always comes back from the reports. Okay, and we could go in and say Woolwich, but we've already said Woolwich. And then we could say, well, why? So what was this about? Well, we know that one of the perpetrators said that this was about revenge, and it was also politically motivated. Okay, so what we've done there is we've just basically pulled together a few points from asking questions such as who, what, when, where, why. We could also ask questions like how and build up a bigger picture from there. What I want to do is just simply move some of these things around and start to think about how this information could be used to help generate ideas and stimulate our thought processes and move that forward into our writing. So the first things we can do is just take any of these from the outside and start to think about how they might relate to other elements. So for instance, we could pick up local onlookers and we can think about, okay, middle of the day. Well, okay, what was going on? Where were people going? What were they doing on a normal day around this time? And then we could think about local onlookers. Okay, so these are people local to the barracks. Do they know much about the security forces in that area and the barracks? Do they have a relationship with those? Local onlookers in London. Well, we know that there's a mixed populace in London. It's a very multicultural society. So maybe the actual demographic of the people that are around, maybe that may have an impact onto how they saw things and what was happening. And so on. We can talk about any of these and start thinking about how they might impact in any of these others. And at any point we can open up a note window and add a few thoughts or ideas. So say if we were thinking about local onlookers and say the victim, well, we could ask the question, did any of the onlookers know the victim? So that's a good example of something that might help research. But we do know that some of the onlookers talked to the perpetrators, okay, and got first-hand testimony. We also know that film was taken, okay. So we've got a mixture here of things that we'd like to know more about and also some things that we know, and these will help build our ideas. And then as we go along, we can start thinking about, okay, London and security forces. Are they different in London, say, to anywhere else? Is there anything special about it? How long did it take for them to arrive? What did they do once they arrived? Is this different to London? And then we can think about London and revenge. Is there a lot of revenge attacks in London? Is it different to elsewhere across the country or around the world? And so on. And we can pick any of these and compare it and contrast it to any of the others. We can even take multiples. So we can think about, okay, the actual attack. So let's take attack and victim and perpetrators. Any of these three things together, or any of these three things together. So what we can do is we can take more than one of these symbols and think about how they might form together to bring up another thought or another idea. And again, we can add notes to those and so on. So the objective is that as we continue, in the background, our outline starts to demonstrate some of our ideas, and we have got a basic structural form there, so our ideas are collated together in chunks so that they might be useful to make up, say, paragraphs or sections of our writing. One of the great things about doing it this way is that I can very quickly and easily look at my breakdown of ideas and start to quantify them. So how many ideas have I got? Have I got enough to start informing additional research, or have I got enough to say to move into a writing stage to actually put together a portion or all of my writing, my first draft? So the objective here is to use our diagram view to help inform us of our ideas, build them together, and then use those and move them across into our writing. I'm not going to go any further than that. What I'd like you to do is, if you've got some time, is simply try this. You don't have to take Woolwich. You could take absolutely anything. It could be a thing, it could be a concept, from nuclear power to your pets. If you put a central objective in the middle and then start to think about the questions who, what, when, where, why and how, and then start to build up some ideas. And then if you start to pull those ideas together, you'll see how you can generate quite a lot of material that could be then used forward into your writing. Okay, thank you for taking the time to have a look at this video, and I'm sure that there will be more videos to come with additional articles, so thank you for that. If you do have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Okay, thank you, bye bye now.